Behind every brand, every movement, every leader, every transformation, there's a story. And intertwined in these stories is a message. And this podcast is for you, the next gen leader, coach, entrepreneur, and influencer. My name is Travis Brady, and I'm a branding mentor and sales story strategist. I hope you see me more of a guide than a host as I share the stories behind the brands, so you can take these stories, experiences, principles, and teachings and use them to share your story with the world. Welcome back to the story behind the brand. I'm your main host, Travis Brady. I got an awesome dude here today with me. He's going to be the main sponsor of Brand X Expo. Just nailed down the date, September 13th and 14th, 2024, next year in Arizona. This is going to be our biggest event to date out of all the 8 years we've been running events. I'm super pumped. Josh, I know way back from the day, working at Lifetime Fitness. We've just kind of stayed in touch over the years, and the dude's doing some big things in business and has had a lot of success, opened his own supplement company, and is just crushing it. So I'm really excited to have him on here today and share a little bit about his story. So thanks for coming on the podcast, dude. How you feeling?
Hey, thanks, Travis. Yeah, feeling good, dude. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. I know you're trying to get into the whole speaking thing, which I'm sure a lot of the people listening trying to do. What inspired you want to start getting yourself out there and start building your personal brand more?
I just think it's important to drive traffic to my businesses. Plus, I think it's like a self-development type thing. If I can nail down speaking, then I'm going to feel more confident and just be a better individual all around.
Yeah.
Yeah, recently had a baby, Olivia, so she's now 2, but I want to make sure she has she sees that dad's doing everything he can to be the best person he can be, really. And
Yeah.
I apologize, I didn't bring I feel like I dressed too up a little bit here. Like I could see your
Maybe I
shoulders.
dressed too much down.
Oh, bro, making me look small here, dude.
Look at you. Your freaking buttons are playing tug of war on your shirt because you're busting out with your pecs and your shoulders there, dude.
If only we can get him to stop doing it lower than my chest, then we'll be in a good spot.
What kind of shirt is that?
Father and sons, super comfy.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a UK brand, and yeah, it's stretchy. So yeah, it feels really good. Definitely recommend it. But key
Yeah,
to success, feel comfy.
dude,
Got
absolutely.
got the Lululemon pants on, so stretchy down there too. Yeah.
Dude, that's all I wear is Lululemon pants. I won't even buy any other pants at this point in time.
Yeah, they feel great. I like them a lot.
Have you
I
seen
do.
that new Lululemon commercial?
No, I haven't.
It's this guy whips off his pants and then starts running down the street or walking down the street, and then he is getting all these other guys and they start whipping off their pants and they all run to Lululemon to get
Wha-
pants. I was like, dude, that's pretty much how it is, man. You just after you wear Lululemon pants, you don't want to wear any other pants.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
100%
you'd think
agree.
Lululemon's sponsoring us right now, but they're not. I just
Yeah, shout out to Lululemon.
yeah.
No. Um, yeah,
So,
I totally
anyways,
agree.
yeah, I'm excited to have you on the podcast, man, and hear just a little bit more about your background and how you got where you're at today, and relatively a short period of time. What was your first business? Yeah, what was your first job growing up?
Oh, first job. That would be working for Trend West or Worldmark, over the phone. You know how, like at Jordan Commons, this is a movie theater in Utah that everybody's familiar with.
Mhm.
They would do these drawings for four-wheelers, put your name in a drawing, you get a four-wheeler. This is from Trend West. Now that's Wyndham Vacation Club.
Mhm.
Anyways, we would call people that did those drawings and invite them to a tour to tour the timeshare. And Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was a senior in high school, and I would just call in like Australian accents. I'd be like, "Oh, hey, mate, nice to see that you entered into this contest. We'd love to invite you over," and or whatever. We would just have
Get
fun
more
with it.
attention? Did you get more attention when you did that?
Yeah, yeah, I think I did. I don't think anybody like the. I feel like I got more, uh, what is it, tours if I did the Australian accent.
That's so
I,
funny.
I tried I tried a Middle Eastern accent and it worked the opposite. I don't know why.
Let's hear your Middle Eastern accent.
Oh no, dude, I don't know. Hey, BB. No, I don't know. That was a joke. That was totally
Yeah.
not accurate or anything. But
What did you
anyways,
what was your first entrepreneur experience as a kid? Did you ever do the lemonade stands or
oh yeah. So before that, I had other jobs too. Like, in fact, my first W-2 job was a lot detail for my uncle's car lot in St. George. It was my aunt and uncle's car lot. Doing detail work when I was 14. So that was actually my very first job. But before that, entrepreneurial wise, it was definitely mowing lawns and then raking leaves in Hurricane, Utah. That was back when I was like 10 years old, 10 to 12. I did that.
is it hurricane or hurricane?
It's Hurricane.
Hurricane.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't believe it. If somebody says it's Hurricane, they're not from around here,
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah, so weird is that in the middle of the park, for like, I don't know, they have like this whole section of how the name came about, and apparently the pioneers were going across the plains, or going across and entering into Hurricane, and they said they thought they saw a hurricane, so and they called it Hurricane.
hmm.
But in actuality, we have no hurricanes in Utah, so I don't know what the heck they were looking at. Probably a dust devil. I don't think they were very smart back then.
That's funny. That's interesting how that name came to be.
Yes, very interesting.
Story behind the brand there. So yeah, we were talking a little bit off air, and I was like, Josh, let's talk about a little bit behind the scenes. What's the story behind the brand, behind the curtain? And what I have really found is having those conversations with people in business really allows you to get an in-depth look about really what it takes to go to the next level in your business, from just not a mindset, but what are the skill sets you need to get better at. Um, so I feel like that's invaluable. So you started on the phones. I actually started on the phones at Discover Card. And even though it wasn't my favorite job in the entire world, I feel like those jobs like sculpt you for entrepreneurism.
I agree 100%. Because it's about putting yourself out there constantly. So on the phone, you kind of have a way to mask it a little bit, but it's also a little bit harder because you have to be very animated over the phone for your emotions to get through.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, just putting yourself out there in the end, growing thick skin and just going for whatever you feel like going for and not really worrying too much about it.
Yeah.
Picking up the phone, coming up with that first pitch or for the first job you're doing your inside sales in or whatever it is. It's very, very stressful and very hard. But so is entrepreneurship and, betting on yourself.
So you're in mortgages now, like what inspired you to get into that field?
My mom had a lot to do with that. My mom she was 16 when she had me.
Mhm.
My dad was 18, and I've seen my mom, hold multiple jobs, raising two kids, um, and trying to find her way. She did. She was a personal trainer actually at Lifestyles 2000. I don't know if you've heard of
Wow.
that place.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. That was a nice gym,
Yeah.
dude. Was it the one on one in South Jordan we're referring to?
Well, there was one, and it was in Sandy, so kind of close to South Jordan.
Okay.
But it was in Sandy and Lifestyles, yeah, 2000. It's an old pink building. It turned into a Vasa later down the road. I think it's on what is it, 13th or 7th? It's on
Yeah,
7th.
somewhere around there.
anyways, yeah. So I've seen her. She did hair. She did personal training, and just trying to provide and give her boys a great life. And then I saw her go into mortgages, and like everything seemed to change for her. This was back in like '06, so she had did very well, and then or started doing well for us. It was a big deal. She bought a town home, so we had our own bedrooms, which was really cool. And like, oh, that's amazing. And just saw her grow and grow and grow. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I didn't, follow the path immediately. Immediately, I worked at RC Willey for 5 years, electronics and appliance sales.
Okay.
Learned that craft and learned how to sell warranties, which is selling something that's, doesn't have anything attached to it, which I found, very interesting and fun.
Mhm.
Plus, you got paid really good on it. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I got my real estate license there while I was working at RC Willey and was doing that part time. And then I found Wyndham or Trend West again. This was the same company I worked for as a senior. I
Mhm.
had left and done other things. And then I came back. I had a friend that was in the upgrades department, and that's a really awesome, at the time, a really cool thing to work in as the upgrades department.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
What year did you have? So you started as a realtor, right?
Yeah, in congruency with RC Willie.
Okay.
So
So
RC Willie, I was there for two
when did
years,
it
got my real estate
change? So
license.
when did it change into loans? Can you be a realtor simultaneously as you are a loan officer? Is that illegal or?
You can, and you can totally do that. That's not a problem. So after RC Willie, 5 years at RC Willie, I started working at WorldMark for 5 years, and that's inside sales, just upgrading people that already own the timeshare, and you upgrade them to more time
Okay.
of what they already have. So anyways, I did that and I said, you know what? I'm only going to do 5 years. I always had a 5 year plan. I read in some book that, um, if you have a 5 year plan until it's your own business, if you're going to work somewhere, only work there for 5 years.
Yeah.
So that was in the back of my head. And then also it is kind of stressful calling people. You're calling 72 people a day. You're
It's a
getting
lot of
yelled at quite a bit. I don't, they always say I don't use it, and you got to go over the dream and kind of re-center them of why they bought in the first place. And um, it was really cool. I learned a ton, but it was really just a 5 year thing, and then yeah, I wanted to get out. So I said, what am I going to do? And I said, well, maybe I'll do real estate full time, and or maybe I'll do mortgages. I don't know yet. And I had a buddy that wanted to sell a house, and the house, I went to sell it, and unfortunately, I didn't have my license. I did not do my CE classes
uh,
for that last year because I was so focused on timeshare, hitting President's Club, hitting these big numbers, and I totally forgot I spaced the CE classes. And I'm like, okay, well, I've always wanted to do mortgages anyway, so let's go ahead and do that. So
yeah.
yeah, started to do mortgages. Right. I'm
So
gonna
you
grab a drink if that's okay.
so you did mortgages because you let your real estate lapse up. Is that pretty much what it came down to?
Yeah, I probably would have went full time with the real estate. Yeah, that's very possible. I think it's a great job, and yeah, it was just happen chance, I guess.
So how did it domino effect into you having your own brokerage? Like it seems like it happened relatively fast. What's been like the secret to your growth in such a short period of time?
Just the hustle I figured out with timeshare, just hustling the phones, going after it super hard. I don't think a lot of people, I don't know, people around me weren't really grabbing the phone and calling out like I was.
Yeah.
The first year is in the mortgage industry, I was with a lender. Lenders will teach you the ropes, so to speak.
Mhm.
Um, and I didn't with them. They didn't. I don't know. I was already a seasoned salesman. I knew kind of what I wanted to do, and I wanted to be more independent. And that first year is just rough in mortgages. Mortgages, there's a lot of rules apparently when you're working for, with financial institutions and people's personal information and all that. So
Dude,
um,
your job is literally like, other than accounting and tax planning, probably would be the least favorite job of mine. Like all that accounting and numbers and papers. Like every time I go to buy a house, I'm just like, I always tell my lender, my friend and client that I've known for, gosh, over a decade, and I just have told him, I was like, dude, you're gonna have to push me through this process because I fucking hate it.
yeah, it's rough, especially when you're an entrepreneur. There's more documents we need, and
Uh-huh.
we have to go through it all.
W-2 is probably your fun, easy client, isn't it?
Yeah, that's always great. If
Yeah.
I don't have to track down your money and then tell you you netted less than what you thought you netted, those are always fun conversations. Like, oh yeah, well, your CPA is really good, you definitely had a lot of write-offs or whatever. But yeah, there's a lot of numbers involved, and I don't know. I think it kind of works for me. I don't know. It really has been my favorite thing to sell up until that point. Like, just I think the numbers have something to do with it. I have really bad ADD, and I think having the sales portion of it and then also the numbers part going on at the same time, I think it made me more focused. And it was such a challenge. The first year was so hard for me because of the ADD. It takes me a minute to really register things, and I wanted to prove everybody wrong too. Like, oh, Josh doesn't seem to be grasping this concept, um, or whatever it is. And then I wanted to prove everybody wrong. So luckily, I found a brokerage, a great guy that owned a small brokerage, and got to watch him start and get going on a huge company. But luckily, yeah. Anyways, go ahead. Yeah, that's another thing. But
So, and I'm sure there's people in real estate that are listening to the podcast, maybe more specifically, loan officers. Why do you feel like people in real estate struggle? I mean, it seems like if you can't find a job, go be a realtor, right? Everyone and their dog is a realtor, right? Why do you feel like most people struggle in that space?
I'm like the wrong guy to ask because I'm not a realtor, and it's like so hard. Their job is so different than mortgages. But I mean, I did do it part time, so I kind of understand some of it. But I would think that what I see is that they take, I don't know, their prospecting time is not very high, I guess. I don't see a lot of them really tracking those phone calls and like really being active prospecting. So if they prospect for like 2 hours and call on whatever list they got, then I think they're going to be in a much better spot. Really, the really good rule is 72 dials and 3 hours of talk time. If you've got that down, doesn't matter the field, you should be crushing it eventually.
Yeah, I believe when most people start a business, they spend more time twiddling their thumbs and playing with their dick than what they should be actually doing is jumping on the phone and making those phone calls. So I don't think this is just a mortgage conversation. I think this is a business conversation in general, right?
Yeah, business and sales. Business and sales is business, and business is sales.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you? A lot of people, when they come into entrepreneurism, they're really scared of the sales process and scared to ask for the sell. How did you get good at it over the years? Like what helped you?
Oh, there's a book called Secrets of Mastering Inside Sales. That was a good one I picked up. It was written by an insurance agent, and I don't know. That book's really good. I was Mastering the Art of Inside Sales. Sorry, Mastering the Art of Inside Sales. But really, I read a lot of different books, a lot of self-help books, a lot of sales books. Secrets of Closing the Deal is a really good one. And yeah, a lot of reading. So every month I was reading a self-help book every single month when I was first starting out.
Wow.
Integrity Selling. RC Willie pushes really hard, and they have a course on it that was really cool. But always with a self help book or a sales book once a month. And then I also just liked reading because I'm from Hurricane and there's nothing to do in Hurricane. So I learned how to read then, and I was like at two a day. It was a lot. When I started doing sales full time at RC Willie, I read everything I can get my hands on, and really that's one self help book a month. Um,
That's pretty
but
good to average that a month. What do you make your team read? What's the number one book you make them read?
How to Master the Art of Selling by Tom Hopkins. It's a really good green book. It's like almost no fluff
Okay.
and just really cuts to the chase.
What is it about that book that you like the most? What's the main concept?
Probably that it's simple, just and also he says he's really relatable. He talks about his own experiences, and it comes off when you're reading it as like he's a very personable, good guy to learn from. Um, but yeah, that's really good. And then just picking up the phone and making the dials, picking up the phone, making the dials, doing that whole 72 dials or 3 hours of talk time. Um, that's kind of where you want to live, making sure you're doing that every day. Um, that will that will thicken your skin quite a bit. So
Why
yeah,
having thick skin is probably, I'd say, one of the most important things to have as an entrepreneur. Like, if you're gonna get ruffled every time someone says something to you, it's just like, dude, go find a W-2 job, bro. Like, you're just not cut out for it. But developing thick skin, I feel like, is not necessarily just a natural trait. I think it's something that it comes with over time, and it takes going through those no's. And no means to me next opportunity. What's the next opportunity here? Let's go. And I feel like baseball really sculpted me for that, because in baseball you fell, even in the little leagues, even when you're younger, you're still going to fail, 50% of the time. So I feel like learning how to fail and learning how to stay inspired and motivated during the failing is probably one of the most critical traits that anyone can have in any business in order to be successful. And that's what I've really seen over the years with
oh,
people.
100% agree. Yeah. You want to learn from, you want to fail forward. Who says that? Failing forward.
Fuck
There's
everyone.
somebody else.
Everyone.
Okay. But you
I
want to remember it. It's so hard to remember everything. Um, but you want to fail forward. I agree. But yeah, thick skin. I go back to like, the lunchroom, back to middle school when, sometimes we had sometimes my mom had to work really early. So I had to take myself, I had to make sure to catch the bus, do all of this, get ready, blah, blah, blah. And then sometimes I'd forget my lunch money. And or it wasn't there ready for me, so I had to sell the kids on giving me some of their food. So like this happened in middle school, like Crescent View Elementary School Crescent View Middle School. I would, sell kids on giving me their pizza. Like, are you going to eat that? Sometimes I'd ask, the kids that are kind of small or whatever, are you going to eat your pizza? I see you don't eat your pizza. So is that okay? I'm so sorry, but I'm hungry
That the
or
secret.
whatever it was.
Go to junior high and see how much food you can get from the junior high.
I was hungry, dude. Also, I was yeah, you wouldn't guess it by looking at me now, but yeah, I grew to the same height I am now very quickly, and I was a hungry dude. So I would just befriend everybody.
So what
So
I would do, I would actually, that would happen to me too. I'd forget to ask my mom for lunch money, or I don't know what would happen. So what I would do is I would still go through the lunch line. And then when I got to check out, I would essentially sell the lady on, I don't have any money right now. I can't even remember what I said, but I know there one time I was literally like, I think lunch was like $1.60, $2 a day or something like that,
yeah, sounds right.
which is crazy to think, in today's, world with inflation. How much is lunch today? Do you know?
Here's about, I don't know. Maybe we should go to the middle school and find out. Me and you. I'm kind of hungry right now, bro.
Let's go. Dude, people bitched about school lunch. I was like, dude, they had some good lunch, man. People who didn't eat lunch,
Yeah.
it's like, dude, you're just being picky, right? Like,
Oh yeah. I still think about it.
yeah, they had some
I'm,
good salads. They had salad bar and a good. I love sandwiches, and I'd pack that baby full of stuff. But
yeah, bro.
yeah, it's those real world experiences, and I feel like kind of going back to entrepreneurism. The reason why a lot of people struggle is they didn't have to build up those skill sets, in the environment that they were. I
Right.
had to go sell candy bars for sponsorships for baseball. I had to go sell donuts. I had to go sell coupons. I did a car wash outside my parents' house, for my mom's clients that came in. And I went and worked at Discover Card, right? So I did a lot of these things over the years, not realizing how much of them were actually sculpting me for entrepreneurship. And so some people that are coming in brand new, none of this experience, their parents work for, some type of employer, they're just so far behind the starting line. It's not even funny. And then they casually approach their business, okay, thinking that it's going to be much easier than it really is. And I think what I would, even with the success that we've had over the years, is I would still say it's still fucking hard to grow a business. But in entrepreneur, what if you talk to entrepreneurs, they're like, what's harder than having your own business and sales and marketing and branding? What's harder than that? It's going to work for somebody. That's even harder. So when it literally comes down to it, I feel like it's choose your hard, bro. Like,
hmm
choose your hard. It's hard to be fat. It's hard to be in shape. Choose your hard. Right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then, I don't know what it was, but I was always something in me that was like, I got to do it on my own. There, I can't just stay complacent and work for somebody else. I'm not built that way. I was the kid that was in the hall quite a bit because I would talk to the teacher, like we were just having a conversation, or talk to kids like we were having a normal conversation all the time. I'm
Mhm.
like trying to, I don't know, go to my own beat a little bit, and it can cause conflict slightly it can cause a little bit of conflict with management or whatnot. So I always noticed that was not a good trait of mine. So needed to go out on my own, and I feel like I'm definitely a lot happier on my own for sure.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to grow with my companies, Rockwell and Bullfit, is just being an individual.
Yeah. Let's
Um,
talk, let's talk about the Bullfit for a little bit for the last part of the podcast. What inspired you to start that supplement company?
I have a couple good friends from middle school we've known for a very long time, and um, we've wanted to do something together for a while. Um, my friend, my buddy Harrison, one of my partners at Bullfit, was over visiting me, and he's a serial entrepreneur, and
Mhm.
I've always respected that. He kind of just went at it like day one almost. In fact, we were going to the clubs when I was 21, and like I was like, yeah, we should start our own company. He's like, that sounds like a great idea. And I'm like, okay. And that was it for me. I'm like, I got to do sales though. I don't have money to like not eat, not make money right now. So I'm gonna just do sales. I'm gonna focus on that. He started a company, and he became entrepreneur of the year a couple of years in a row, and was very successful. So um, I saw his portfolio, so to speak, and there was one that stood out to me, that hadn't been, that was an idea. And some things were in place, but not much. And I said, hey, let's go at this really hard. And so we got on a meeting, and, just went after it. And I love working out. I've worked out since I was a little kid. My dad was a Marine, and he worked out all the time.
Mhm.
he would come and pick me up from school or whatever, and people would be like, "Who the heck was that?" Because he'd be hanging out of this crummy Nissan two-door Nissan that had rust on it, and he'd be this massive guy hanging his arm out the window because it was too big to fit in the Nissan. It was like, whoa. So the kids would be like, that's not your dad, whatever. I'm like, okay, whatever. So he was always working out super aggressively, and I was always in the gym since I was a little kid. Started drinking pre-workout or protein shakes when I on my in my sippy cups when I was 3.
That's
So
funny.
yeah, and then my mom became a personal trainer. She was also huge into fitness. So
Yeah, so I can see where you got all your influence from over the years.
and
Yeah,
they have great genetics, both of them.
yeah, protein shakes are so much better than what they were back then. I remember my brother got this huge old freaking like Logi detergent 5 gallon thing of protein. It was a strawberry protein. And I don't even know how the hell they made it because every time you mix it up, it was chunky as hell. Like,
Just concrete.
oh, it was so chalky. And I remember I came home one time after this leg workout and I was at this point in time, I was a skinny guy and I was trying to gain weight. Like, and so,
Okay,
so
hard gainer.
yeah, the milk and 2 scoops of protein, and I chug down this protein and I go to walk downstairs and like am trying to hold it from not coming up, but I couldn't, and I just puke
Oh,
downstairs. Like the throw up literally went clear to the bottom of the stairs. And I was so sick.
gross.
And it's just like the thought of it, what the thought of drinking this protein still to this day just like makes me gag because it was so thick going down. It was like drinking mud.
It was. I don't know what they were doing. And I feel like it was like during that time, like when I was 12, like 1998 or 1999 to like 2002, or maybe 1997 to 2002. For some reason, they had this concrete protein drink. And I don't know exactly what we were talking about. And nothing I did would make it better. I'm like,
Oh,
what is happening?
oh yeah,
But
it's so disgusting. Anyways, I was so obsessed with like gaining weight and building muscle. And I was so sick after I did that. And I was like, shit, I just threw up all my protein. So I went back
yeah.
and mixed up another shake and was lucky enough didn't puke that out. But anyways, it just made me think of that coming back to it. So Bullfit, what inspired that name Bullfit?
Bullfit, my partners, they had already selected this name. And they had a logo going. And I just loved it. I thought it was a great idea. And I thought the story is they were at a rodeo and they just, thought of it watching those bulls. Um, but yeah, bulls are 2,000 pounds and they're super ripped all the time. So why not, call it bullfit?
Yeah.
And deer are, I don't know if you know this, but deer are about, I think they go up to 400 pounds, maybe 300.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's another competitor that does that. So we thought, bulls are way cooler. So let's go with a bull
Yeah, I
and
love
way stronger.
yeah, I love your people refer to as branding. I refer to as more of graphics and logos, but I love your graphics and logos of it. I don't know if you have your container, um, the description on it. I think you read to me in the gym. I thought that was pretty creative. Do you have that? You have that?
Yeah, yeah, I do. I have a bottle in my car, and then I have, let me see if I have it here on my phone. I can just quickly show you.
Yeah. If you
But
want
this is a
want
this is
to
a
read
te
that, if you want to read that to the audience, I thought that was pretty it
yeah, that'd
was
be
next
great.
gen, man. It was different, it was unique, it was funny. And so yeah, I just love that whole piece of it. While you're looking that up, what do you want Bullfit to represent? Like, there's a lot of supplements out there. What is your brand message with Bullfit?
Okay, so it says warning, if your pump lasts more than 4 hours, please see your personal trainer to schedule another session.
Nice.
Well, you got to think my partners and I, we've known each other for a long time. We joke a lot. There's a lot of Zoolander quotes that we'll quote and Step Brothers. We just we love making each other laugh. That's like the most important thing I would say
Yeah.
is making each other laugh while we're working. So it doesn't feel like it's work ever. And yeah, we have this all across the board. We've got a graphic tee that has a deer, and the guy in the bull was hunting, and the deer is around his shoulder. Um, and yeah, it's going to be really funny. Anyways, it's we're always incorporating humor where we can.
Yeah. So tell me what kind of what supplements do you guys got right now?
So we have Bodacious and Cowabunga. Bodacious is our mid pre-workout, middle of the line pre-workout, and the Cowabunga is like a starter pre-workout.
Okay.
The midline, I say mid, but it's packed. It's packed big time. It
Mhm.
got double the servings of all the good stuff. We've got L-citrulline at 6,000. We've got beta alanine at 3,200. We have 5 grams of creatine. So you get your daily dose of creatine if you're really trying to put on some size, and 250 milligrams of caffeine.
Okay.
So yeah,
So for the audience
betaine,
members,
tyrosine, choline, we got a
members
lot.
know those what they do. So explain a little bit about what those do inside the body.
Yeah, bro, and you can help too. We have a pharmacist named Todd that's jacked, and he understands all this stuff at a high level.
Yeah.
And anyway, citrulline is going to help with your pump. I noticed that my pumps are all the most aggressive pumps I've had. C4 I feel like had probably the best pump aspect to it if you doubled up or whatever on the serving size,
Mhm.
but ours is better. And butane also helps with that as well. Um, I think I'm saying that right. Let me see real quick. Betaine and hydrous helps a lot with the pump. Creatine is going to help with building your muscles, right, Travis? Is this correct?
Yeah, it's funny. How fast, like being out of the game of nutrition, and feeling like how behind I am on, some of especially some of the newer supplements and everything. But creatine is always going to be like your original goat, you know what I mean? And what creatine does is it helps rephosphorylate ADP to ATP. ATP is where adenine triphosphate is what it's called. And essentially, that's the energy comes from the mitochondria of your cell that generates energy. And so, what the creatine does is it helps rephosphorylate ADP into ATP faster. So, what that is going to do for somebody is it's going to help them recover faster in between sets. It'll help them go longer, especially for more of those intense stuff. Creatines, you're going to also store more water in the muscle.
Oh
So
yeah.
those are just some of the short term, benefits of it. For me personally, one of the reasons why I love like pre workout supplements, besides like the pump, and the pump, like diving down more into the science of it, the pump is meant to drive more blood into the muscle, and blood carries oxygen, nutrients, right? All those things. So when you talk about the pump, like those are some of the benefits of it, right? But the reason why I drink those things is because they're flavorful, they taste good, and it makes me drink more water. Um, so I feel like that's the benefit. And dude, like chat and listeners that are addicted to like energy drinks. In this last year, actually for the last decade, dude, I was considered like an addicted to energy drinks, man. Like I would drink one on average a day, sometimes three, sometimes four. And
Wow.
what I did to get off of those is I started midway through the day is I would start mixing up my ice and my water and I'd put a little bit of my pre-workout in there, um, and mix all that. And I try to do a pre workout that doesn't have a shitload of caffeine. And dude, it almost like overnight, like helped me get off these energy drinks. And now when I
Right.
go, like I'll go in the store and I'll look at an energy drink and they're so good with their branding. And I'll look at it and be like, oh man, that looks so good. And then I'll buy one and then I'll start drinking. I was like, dude, this doesn't even taste like it used to. And I'll end up like not even drinking all of it.
Yeah.
So it's so if there's any reason to like buy, you know, these supplements, for someone that's addicted to caffeine drinks, like that's one of them right there. But it just helps you drink water and
And
drinking.
bodacious with 250, it's not going to make it so you've got an addiction. You're not building an addiction at 250 for the caffeine. And everything we have is all natural. We have all natural flavoring, all natural sweetener. So right now we've got a lot of stigma around sucralose in diet drinks and how they break up your DNA, which is not good, and cause cancer. So we have none of that. We have FDA approval. We have what is it, NPC approval. We've got like we have the pharmaceutical seal of approval from Todd, and then GMP certified as well. So everything we have is good for you, 100%. Something you can take every day and feel really good about what you're taking. And I didn't really think about that stuff before. I was just taking whatever would make me big. And I started taking ours and as we dialed in the ingredients, or the formula, I should say, I started feeling a lot better. It's a slow ride. It's not like you're getting smacked in the face, but I'll catch myself working out for 3 hours and being like, oh, I feel like I just did my first set. So it really, really works, and we're all super passionate about fitness and make sure it's legit. So
Nice. I love it, man.
yeah,
Well,
dude.
appreciate coming on to the podcast. How can people learn more about the supplement part of it?
Yeah, so just go to bullfit.com and we'll be live here in, I believe, 2 weeks.
Okay.
And bullfit.nutrition is our Instagram. We've got a lot of funny 90s, 80s skits that we do. And go there, please, bullfit.nutrition, follow, and, just DM us with any kind of questions you have.
Yeah. Well, cool, dude. I'm excited for you to be a part of Brand X. And
Oh,
um,
I'm pumped.
yeah, we got to work on your story when you speak on stage. And so, yeah, I'm super excited
Yeah.
for it. And it's going to be an awesome event. Brandxexpo.com is the website. And this will be one of the best events you can go to next year. And what's going to be really different about this event is we're really going to try to get everyone plugged in together. Most people go to these events for networking opportunities. And when we go to events like this, we're hoping how many people can we talk to at the event? We're going to be doing Zoom trainings, Zoom networking events leading up to the event, after the event for everyone that's registered. So there's going to be so many opportunities to learn, to grow your brand. There's going to be lots of opportunities to get some really cool content at the events. We're going to be bringing in photographers and videographers and doing these different stations. So it's going to be a really awesome time. So I'm really excited for everyone that's going to be a part of it. And yeah, I'm glad you're a part of it too, man.
Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for believing in me, Travis. And yeah, this is going to be great.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for jumping on here, guys. If you feel like this podcast can benefit someone, please share it. Would love a 5-star review or just a review in general. Tell me what you like about the podcast. So that way I can continue to get this out into the world. Be inspired in what you're doing. Be next gen. As always, the world needs you. And we'll talk to you soon.
Hey, you have a story to share with the world, which means you need to get on more life stages. We have a jam-packed schedule in 2024 full of events, including our biggest event year to date, Brand X. Go to benextgen.com/speak. Again, benextgen.com/speak. Or you could just click the link in the description. Fill out an application. Our team will reach out to you and show you how our speaker partnership works. Get on a stage, get video, blow up your brand, blow up your business. Let's go.